These two quotes should scare you. We're not going to see manufacturers go back to where it was 3 or 4 years ago. And secondly, we'll never go back to the inventory levels we were at in the past. This from two big-time automotive executives. Welcome back to Everyman Driver. For American families, buying a car or owning a car is becoming a distant American dream. Car prices are at record highs and automakers are limiting their output. Listen to this, the average monthly payment for a new car has soared nearly to $800, $777 to be exact, nearly doubling that what it was in late 2019. This according to Cox Automotive, that's the parent company of Kelley Blue Book. That's almost a sixth of the median after-tax income for U.S. households. Even used models have climbed to $544 a month on average. What's your monthly average payment? Is it close to those numbers? At the root of the problem is the automaker's new mantra. Here it is. Keep inventory lean and price tags fat. 3 years after the pandemic triggered the global shortage of semiconductor chips and crippled car manufacturing, Ford, GM, and others, and their overseas rivals are notching up some big profits. Even as the chip crunch shows signs of easing, they're pledging to keep production in check. Why would you pledge to do that? And now, because electric vehicles cost about 25% more than the average car, the shift to plug-ins is about to make the affordability crisis even worse. And then you add the soaring interest rates to the mix, and new cars like home ownership and college education are fast becoming the domain of the rich and famous. This according to the chief economist over at Cox Automotive. He said for a decade, the average new car payment in the U.S. bumped along at about $400 a month. That was as much as the typical American household could afford or shell out along with their other expenses. And now it's soaring even higher. So now we're looking at the average price of a new vehicle in the U.S. closer to 50 grand, up 30% since 2019. This according to JP Morgan. The prices have retreated somewhat in the recent weeks. As production recovers, the pullback isn't enough for consumers to really be comfortable buying a new car. The average price of a used car, meanwhile, stands around $27,000, according to Cox Automotive data. And yes, the manufacturers are reaping the benefits of selling fewer but more expensive cars. Last year, automakers sold about 13 million in the U.S., down 8% from 2021, and the lowest in a decade. But Ford's gross profit rose 4.4% in 2022 from a year earlier. How's that possible? Selling fewer vehicles, but the profits still went up because they're limiting the supply and they're making only more expensive vehicles. This while GM's adjusted earnings grew around 200 million to reach 14.5 billion. I don't care that they made a profit, that's their business model, but they're making cars and trucks unaffordable for Americans. And this is where those quotes came in that I began with. This is from the GM Chief Executive Officer who told investors last year, we're never going back to the inventory levels that we were in the past. Her rival over at Ford said he doesn't want to pay billions of dollars in inventory or offer discounts and other incentives to offload it. Toyota and Nissan have vowed to attempt the same strategy. And here's that other quote. You're not going to see most manufacturers go back to where it was 3 or 4 years ago. This was from the Vice President of U.S. Vehicle Sales at Nissan, who said that in an interview. I guess there is some good news, or at least a hint of good news. The Ford Chief Financial Officer said this month that he expects new car prices to fall 5% in 2023 as automakers dial up the discounts, while Nissan predicted prices will drop toward a more normal level. So tell me, is buying a new car in your near future, or do you plan on keeping what you have? Maybe go the used car market avenue? Let me know in the comments section below. One final note, if you are in the market for a new vehicle soon, great. Connect with your local dealership and price and test drive at least 3 different vehicles. A vehicle's strengths and weaknesses can only be discovered when you are behind the wheel. My reviews can be good, but you need to test drive these yourself. Visit quotes.everymandriver.com, select the make, model, and your zip code, and you'll get invoice pricing in your area on those vehicles. Shop smarter with price quotes at quotes.everymandriver.com.
Thanks for watching. Please click subscribe and give us a thumbs up. See you next time.